Hello, I'm Sophie D'Souza. Welcome to my channel, Sophie Stained Glass, a channel dedicated to spreading, widening the knowledge, the interest in architectural glass with a special focus on leaded glass. Today, I show you how I made this. It's a small piece. It's a gift for my friend's brother. It's based on a window that was in the flat he used to live in, and he misses those windows. So this is just a small section from it to remind him, and he can take it with him now wherever he lives. So I don't know whether with the things behind you getting a good look at it, but you'll see as I make it. Yeah, beginning to end, you can follow me making this. So hopefully you'll see how I approach every little decision, because there are so many that you have to make while you're making a piece like this. So hopefully you can pick up a few tips along the way. So this is the image the client sent me, one of the images. There were two quite similar images. This is what I've suggested as an option, which is a close-up of one of the corners, which is quite pretty and will go really nicely into an A4 frame. So I've done a design, and that's what I'm about to tackle now. So here's my little line drawing, my little design. There we go. And the frame it's to go into. I asked the client to provide a solid wood frame. I wouldn't recommend putting glass into anything other than solid wood because in the end they're not strong enough if they're not made of real wood. I get asked quite a lot about whether you should trace the design onto your glass and then cut it, or whether you can just cut straight onto your design. I cut straight onto my design because I'm confident. If it's an awkward shape, I will trace it because it's really helpful to be able to turn the glass around to get the cut right. So I'm going to end up with a reverse design because obviously you have to cut with the smooth side of the glass up, but this is a symmetrical design, so it really doesn't matter. Just flip it over at the end. So there we go. There is my first piece. I cannot tell you how many times I've cut the same piece twice because I haven't been disciplined about crossing it off. So don't do that. It's silly. Now, this, I'm going to use the other pen, it's better. This is a tricky shape to cut, so we'll just do a little focusing on how you cut this out. First, make roses. Now the action for this is like this, but pulling at the same time. Okay, now then, little focus in on cutting out this shape. First thing you want to do is just take an easy bit off. Now you do lots of, can you see? Yes, lots of concentric lines, getting closer and closer to the actual cut line. I like to do the cut line, the actual cut line, just leave it be, because then if one of the other cuts runs, hopefully it'll stop at that point. That's the theory. Doesn't always work. You have to make sure you've got your glass positioned so that you can get all the way around without dislocating your wrist. So now the concentric lines. So that's the second one, the third one. I'm not following the things I just drew. That was just so that you could see what I'm getting at here. So I'm going to drop the pieces directly into my dustpan. So like I said before, you're not just pulling and you're not just levering, it's both at the same time. Now, if you pull at both ends, you'll start to open it up at both ends. Okay. Nibble, nibble. Now then. This is the really vulnerable corner. And it's also awkward to get my grozers in. But there it is. Actually, I'm just going to, it's a little trick, I cut it a bit in there, so I'm going to just do that so that I know to cut this bit a bit smaller, just so it doesn't grow too much as I make it. Again, we're going to just remove a bit of the bulk. We're going to position this so that I can get all the way around in one go without acrobatics. Something is uneven here. Could just be the glass. Ooh, look, that's got a little, I don't know if you can see that. It's got a little nick there. That might not come to anything, but it might. So I'm going to cut this piece again. Right. I use my fingers to help direct the cutter. This is quite scratchy, scrapey glass. I don't like cutting cathedral glass, but it has to be done. So now my ever decreasing circles. And I don't know whether you can see, but the oil is flowing nicely out of my cutter because it's not as cold as it used to be. When it gets very cold, the oil won't flow out of your cutter. I'm working my way around, just opening up this cut, and I don't know if you can see the light has changed on this cut, which means it's ready to go. So there it is. So you nibble up to the line. When it gets very tight, it's obviously harder and you nibble in a more careful way. Don't try and get it all off in one go. Work your way round, opening a bit, easing it away. I can see that the light's coming through there. Don't know whether you can. So it'll come away for me. There we are. Just this little corner needs a nibbling. There we are. That's quite an angle there, so I'm just opening it up before I snap it. I knew that might happen, but that's okay, because it's this piece of glass I'm interested in, not this piece. So it was just a way of getting that big piece of glass small enough to start manipulating on the design. Okay, I'm going to draw this because it's a tricky shape. I always say to myself, which is the hardest bit to cut? And then I cut that bit first, because that's going to be the bit that, if it's going to go, it's going to go when I'm doing that. So that would be this side here. So the actual line I want, and then a little internal curve. It will probably come off in one go, but it doesn't hurt to do it in two goes. There we are. Same thing. Take off the bulk and do a more difficult curve. And there we have it. Again, you say to yourself, which is the most difficult cut? This makes it easier to handle. Just cutting it off the big piece. This is the difficult cut, so see how that all came off in one piece? If you were trying to cut that piece, you'd never do it. Right. Oh, all off in one piece. put an extra score line in. The glass said no. I'll just cut it off the big sheet to make it easier. Kind of smudged my line, so I will just put it in place. See this little sticky out bit there? Just nibble that away.